Hello and a warm welcome to the product design section of our Year 9 options event. First may I introduce myself. I'm Mr. Burrows and my colleague that also teaches product design is called Miss Rose. During the course of this brief presentation, what I'm hoping to do is give you an insight into what a child could expect should they choose to opt for this subject at GCSE level. So how are the assessments structured in GCSE product design? What we have here is an extract from the exam board curriculum that tells us the written examination will be 2 hours long. This will be sat at the end of year 11 and this will make up 50% of the qualification in this subject. The remaining 50% is down to a major design and make task which is completed during year 10 and year 11. Both of these two areas, which represent 50%, will be marked out of 100. At the end of year 11, each student studying product design will therefore have a mark out of 200. The exam board use grade boundaries and turn this mark out of 200 into a level 1 to 9 in GCSE product design, which each student will be rewarded with on completion of each two areas. How will lessons be structured in product design? Well, as the course is 50% examination, 1 in 2 lessons will be of an academic nature. This means improving knowledge and understanding in a traditional classroom setting in order to ensure that students are fully prepared for their examination at the end of year 11. 50% of the course is also practical and coursework based, so students will complete a significant number of lessons in the technology computer suite where they will be generating an A3 portfolio. Practical lessons will also take place in approximately a ratio of 1 out of 3 lessons in product design. So what is actually covered in GCSE product design? So we'll be looking to develop your knowledge and understanding in the following mandatory topics. So these are topics that you would have to study in order to be fully prepared for the examination at the end of year 11. I hope you can see by just the wide ranging and broad curriculum, there's going to be a study of materials, which is this section of the course, then goes on to a more modern technologies and the use of computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacture. There's subject content in regards to eco-friendly design, looking at energy production, and then there's very technical topics such as mechanics, electronics and programmable logic control. I would like to make you aware that if you do choose this course, the examination has 10% mathematics at level 6 standard, which generally relates to these 3 topics here. There's the opportunity to study a specialist area in more detail, and for this you choose 1. So students would not study all 6 of these areas, they would pick 1 that suits their in particular expertise, and generally speaking students pick a material area that relates to what they've chosen as their project. If a student has been working a lot with woods and boards, they might tend towards this particular area. Likewise, if they've been working more with metals, sheet metals for example, they might choose this area, etc, etc. So I mentioned earlier in the presentation, 50% of the product design course is about producing a product and is about producing a portfolio. The portfolio is more commonly referred to as coursework. So here we have a list of all the key ingredients in a successful portfolio, and the best way I can communicate what is involved in the actual coursework is by showing you just some of the many examples that have been produced over the last few years. So here we have a very good example of a design page. The student here was looking at making a miniature arcade machine with fully working electronics. And what you can see is the students use computer-aided design, drawing by a computer, to create some really creative ideas for how this arcade machine could look. Another design page is shown here. The idea for a cabinet working off the shapes of Tetris, whereby interlocking designs and tessellating designs allow the cabinet to be modular in how it is built. Another page is shown here, one that I value very highly, as it uses the idea of a Star Wars ATT walker to make an interesting storage solution. And again, as you can see, this time the student has gone for designing by hand using ruler, pencil, fine liners, more traditional techniques, a table with some sort of moving or adjustable top. Another excellent example of a design page. This time the student is looking at ideas for a vanity table. Here we see a final design for a grandfather clock themed towards Beauty and the Beast. It's really clear what the student is thinking. Slightly different from the designs you've seen previously, here we're looking at model making. Small models that you can test and trial to see if a design is going to work before you can build it for real. And now we're moving on from designing to actually look at some of the work students have made. So here we have an interesting idea of a cabinet with a clock built into the top face. We saw this project earlier at the design stage. Here is where a student has made a fully working retro arcade machine, smart screen, electronics in the back. Fantastic project with storage built into the frame. Garden bench project is shown in front of you now. Storage built into the frame, made from treated timber so it can withstand the elements. There is the realization of the grandfather clock that we saw at the design stage earlier. Working drawers, working clock mechanisms. This cabinet here is made more interesting by the addition of a fish tank into the central area. And we can also see the use of colour changing LED lights. Here we see a project that is a cube cabinet, so it's a cube that opens up to reveal a cabinet. Nice use of a Welsh theme throughout this project, and we also can see laser cutting technology and sublimation printing technology to create a nice aesthetic to this project. Here we have a bench, an indoor bench project, and what we see here is a use of a range of materials, including some use of fabrics and textiles. A very interesting project is shown here, where the student has been very creative in that they have used parts of an engine, such as pistons, such as manifolds, to create a very interesting coffee table idea. Here we see a toy box for a child with interactive learning features on the side, and opening up storage and sliding trays to increase the functionality. Here we see a cabinet. What's clear about this is it's got a design theme. There's a very clear steampunk philosophy going right through the design in how it is styled. And moving on, we've got an interactive coffee table whereby the top opens up using runners to allow for storage underneath the top surface. Nice use of laser cutting and nice use of printing techniques. Can we ensure that students go on to achieve an outstanding grade at the end of Year 11 in product design? Product design has a proven track record in ensuring that students meet or excel in regard to their target data. The subject has results that can be compared at both local and national level. GCSE in product design can be studied further in the school's sixth form at A-level standard. The A-level has been running successfully for 3 years with intake numbers pleasingly high. The exam board for the GCSE and the A-level is the same, so progression through these key stages is smooth and linear. What jobs and careers can studying product design lead to? Here you can see quite a comprehensive list that is by no means exhaustive of potential career opportunities for anybody who is successful in this qualification. If you do have any further questions regarding product design, feel free to email either myself or Miss Rose at the school, and I look forward to hearing from you and perhaps even teaching you sometime in the near future. Take care, folks.